Raila Odinga dies at 80. That was the headline on October 15, 2025. A day that brought a long and towering story to a quiet close. A friend speaking about his journey said, "Kenya has lost a leader who never stopped fighting." These words capture the essence of a man who was a constant presence in Kenya's story for over 3 decades. Raila Amolo Odinga passed away in Kochi, a city in southern India. He was there for medical treatment, a journey many hoped would restore his health. Instead, news broke that he had suffered a cardiac arrest during a morning walk. Despite being rushed to a local hospital, he was pronounced dead, leaving a nation to grapple with the sudden loss of one of its most enduring political figures. The news spread like a wave across Kenya and beyond. For so many, Raila was more than just a politician. He was a symbol. He was the face of the opposition. He was the voice of protest. For a time, he was a key part of the government itself. His death in India, far from the homeland he so deeply loved and fought for, felt like a poignant final chapter. Reports from his family in the days leading up to his passing had been optimistic. They had assured the public that he was in good spirits and recovering well. This made the final announcement all the more shocking, a sudden end to a life lived so loudly and publicly. The man known to many as Baba, Father, was gone. His journey had been a roller coaster of highs and lows. He experienced great victories. He endured profound disappointments. He had known the confines of a prison cell. He had walked the corridors of state power. He had rallied millions with his powerful speeches. He had also been at the center of national crises that tested the very fabric of the country. To understand Raila Odinga is to understand the modern history of Kenya itself. Its struggles for democracy, its quests for justice, its hopes for a more united future. Raila Odinga's story began not in the hustle of city politics, but in the quiet town of Maseno, near Kisumu in western Kenya. He was born on January 7, 1945, at the Anglican Church Missionary Society Hospital, into a family that was destined to be at the heart of the new nation's political life. His father was the legendary Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, a key figure in the independence movement, and Kenya's very first vice president under Jomo Kenyatta. His mother was Mary Juma Odinga. Growing up in this household meant that politics was not just a topic at the dinner table, it was the air they breathed. From his earliest days, Raila was surrounded by the ideas and personalities that would shape Kenya's future. His early education took place close to home. He attended Kisumu Union Primary, Miranda Primary, and Miranda High School, where he was a student until 1962. But his father had bigger plans for him, seeing the value of a global perspective. At the age of 17, Raila was sent to Germany. Upon his return to Kenya in the early 1970s, Raila Odinga did not immediately jump into the political arena. Instead, he put his German engineering degree to use. In 1974, he was appointed Group Standards Manager at the Kenya Bureau of Standards. By 1978, he had been promoted to Deputy Director of KBS. But the political climate in Kenya was changing. The early 1980s were tense under President Daniel Arap Moi. Influenced by his father's struggle for a more open society, Raila found himself drawn into underground movements. The engineer and public servant was now viewed as a political dissident. In 1982, his life took a dramatic and irreversible turn. The career he had built at KEBS came to an abrupt end. He was dismissed from his post and plunged into the harsh reality of political persecution. Following a failed coup attempt, there was a massive crackdown on anyone deemed a critic or enemy of the state. He was placed under house arrest for 7 months. He was later charged with treason. Then the charge was dropped, but his freedom was not restored. He was detained without trial for 6 years. With the return of multi-party politics to Kenya in the early 1990s, Raila Odinga stepped fully onto the national stage. He won the Langata parliamentary seat in 1992, a constituency he would represent for the next 2 decades. His first attempt came in 1997. He ran for president but finished third. That first run was a lesson in building a national coalition. In 2002, he chose not to run for the top seat. Instead, he declared his support for Mwai Kibaki Tosha. The endorsement united the opposition and swept KANU from power. Raila became a key minister in the new government. But the alliance fell apart over broken promises on a new constitution. That fallout set the stage for his most controversial bid in 2007. As head of the Orange Democratic Movement, he built a massive wave of support. The closest election in Kenya's history ended with Mwai Kibaki declared winner. Raila and supporters alleged fraud. Violence followed. It ended only after international mediation and a power-sharing agreement. He ran again in 2013 and 2017, challenging results in court. In 2017, the Supreme Court nullified the election, a first in Africa. His fifth and final attempt was in 2022, backed by Uhuru Kenyatta. Yet he narrowly lost to William Ruto. 5 times he ran and 5 times he was denied, each time claiming victory was stolen. The aftermath was tragic, with lives lost and many displaced. In April 2008, Raila was sworn in as Prime Minister, serving alongside President Mwai Kibaki. He coordinated government functions and championed infrastructure and reforms under the National Accord. Raila Odinga never sat in the president's chair, but his shadow looms larger over Kenya's politics. His legacy isn't a title, it's the fabric of modern Kenyan democracy. Fight for multi-partyism in the dungeons of Nyayo House. Crafting the 2010 Constitution in government halls. He taught the power of dissent, the importance of a vibrant opposition, and that no leader is above the law. Handshake with Kibaki in 2008. Handshake with Kenyatta in 2018. Controversial, but prioritizing national stability. To millions, he was Baba. He gave voice to the voiceless and hope to the marginalized. He lost elections but won constitutional reforms. He never became president, but he changed the presidency. As Kenya moves forward, his story is a challenge. Continue the fight for justice, work for unity, keep hope alive. His work was for Kenya. The fight was over, and the fighter was finally at rest. At last.